Unlisted videos, insider drops. The only way in is through my private SMS list.
Communist flags flying in New York City. Chants of revolution echoing through American streets. Cement blocks hurled at police officers, and the mainstream media wants you to believe these are just peaceful patriots worried about the Constitution. I'm Gary Franchi, and what I'm about to show you will expose the real face of the so-called No Kings protests. And it's not what CNN and MSNBC want America to see, because while they were busy gushing over the crowd sizes, we caught what was actually happening on the ground. The question is, why are they hiding this from you? You see, here's why this matters, whether you live in a blue city or a red state. These aren't just random protesters exercising their First Amendment rights. The footage shows hammer and sickle flags, the symbol of an ideology that murdered over 100 million people. We're seeing Iranian regime flags from a government that just killed 30,000 of its own protesters and brutalizes women daily. We're seeing spray-painted calls to kill ICE agents. That's federal law enforcement officers, folks. This is your America being overrun by radical elements that despise everything that this nation stands for. And here's what should terrify every parent who's watching right now. These aren't fringe voices being rejected by the mainstream left. As CNN's own Scott Jennings points out, this is the Democrat coalition. This is who funds them. This is who shows up for them. Well, 96% of Americans went about their normal lives over the weekend. The media celebrated these crowds as if they were defending democracy. Oh no, they're not defending democracy. They're openly calling for its destruction. And when you hear communist revolution chants at protests, it's a reminder that political upheaval can happen faster than anyone expects. If civil unrest disrupted supply chains and you couldn't get to the store, how long would you survive on what's in your house right now? If it's less than a month and you need to visit our friends at My Patriot Supply, they're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers who understand that being ready is not paranoia, it's common sense. And right now, at preparewithgary.com, it's linked below, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week of food for free. You'll get at least 2,000 calories daily from real meals with real ingredients. No artificial flavors or colors, and a shelf life that's measured in decades. When uncertainty is rising, why not get your emergency food from the most trusted name in preparedness and get a free week while you're at it? Go to preparewithgary.com today. Because when the chants turn into action, you'll want to be ready for whatever comes next. But here's what really got me about all this. One analyst nailed why these leftists are suddenly pretending to care about the Constitution. Think about it. These are the same people who said grandma had to die alone during COVID while BLM riots were perfectly fine. The same people who closed your church but kept the casinos open. Now suddenly they're constitutional scholars? No. They're not invoking the Constitution because they love it. They're invoking it because we love it. See, it's a manipulation tactic, and it gets even worse when you see what they were actually chanting. No other kings but ours, right? Freedom News TV capturing some of the insanity of the hammer and sickle flying in New York.
Working class revolution!
Solution! There is only one solution! Communist revolution!
Communist revolution!
There is only one solution!
There is only one solution! Communist revolution!
Yeah! Communism is gonna win, baby!
Of their liberation! Down, down for their occupation! Down, down their occupation! Down for their occupation! Down, down their occupation! Hands off the Middle East! From the belly of the beast! From the belly of
The hammer and sickle marching through the streets of New York City. Protest gets even crazier. Communist group openly chanting, there is only one solution, communist revolution. marching with their fellow Democrats. From shocking chants of communist revolutionaries flooding the streets, we now turn to this next poster exposing the hypocrisy behind these so-called No Kings demonstrations. The truth about no kings, liberals who really want to destroy our country as they claim they want to save it. Listen.
A lot of people have pointed out the apparent hypocrisy with all these no kings protests. I mean, how do we get to a point where a bunch of leftists were suddenly caring about the United States Constitution or limitations on federal power, especially since these were the same people that insisted that grandma die alone during COVID, but of course you could attend a BLM riot, or that your church be closed down, but casinos could stay open. And a lot of people are saying, well, just, make it make sense. Okay, I will. This isn't a newfound love for the constitutions or the principles which informed it or limitations on federal power. This is a manipulation tactic. They're not invoking the Constitution because they love it. They're invoking the Constitution because we love it. And like an atheist quoting the Bible, it's usually out of context and with little to no understanding of it because they haven't actually researched it in a way to try to understand it. They've researched it just enough to be able to invoke certain portions in an attempt to convince us that we're violating it. But ask yourself this question. If Democrats win the midterms, if they're suddenly swept back into power, if they win the presidency in 2028, and they start to do things that Democrats typically do, which is rapidly expand the size and scope of the federal government, if they start infringing on your Second Amendment rights, if they start infringing on rights that are supposed to be protected by the 9th and 10th Amendments, and we all of a sudden decide to gather up and do protests all over the country saying, no kings, respect the Constitution, would Democrats suddenly say, oh my gosh, I guess we need to be intellectually honest and consistent here? Or would they quickly remind us that they believe that the Constitution is an antiquated document written by rich white slave owners and can be ignored because they're trying to achieve social justice? Well, if we know the answer, then maybe we should stop falling for the manipulation.
As he dissects the left's manipulative rhetoric about the Constitution, MRC, the Media Research Center, they just dropped a video pulling back the curtain on the deceitful media narrative showcasing what they won't tell you about these protests. The side of the No Kings protest the leftist media won't show you: communists, terrorists, and more.
While the other 96% of Americans just went on with our normal lives, the media gushed over the weekend over some 8 million people showing up to the No Kings protest organized across the country, mostly in blue cities already occupied by Democrats, but anyway. Now, of course, here's what they didn't show you. All the communist flags. That's actual fascism, guys. People spray painting calls to kill ICE agents. Flags of the Iranian regime, which brutalizes women and just killed about 30,000 Iranian protesters. Protests in London, where they literally have a king. Calls for a French Revolution, which installed a monarchy after massacring thousands of people. And of course, a whole lot of, this. So, breaking news, blue cities are still blue, Trump is still the president, and leftists are still communists and crazy.
And Trump is still your king. Yeah. Now, Scott Jennings eviscerating the No Kings protests.
So these No Kings rallies actually look pretty representative to me of the Democratic coalition. I saw people flying the hammer and sickle in New York City. I saw Hezbollah flags. I saw Hamas flags. I saw Palestinian flags. I saw trans signs. I see weirdo liberal boomers out there. This is pretty representative of the Democratic coalition, and that's who funds it as well, by the way. And so I think if America looks at this and says, what do the two parties stand for? They got it at the No Kings rally.
No, I think if you Americans were out there, Republicans.
You like hammer and sickle? You like hammer and sickle flag?
That's not what that No King stood for.
They had a bunch of them.
That, and that is,
they come from somewhere.
Out there. A lot of common flags.
Gotta love when Scott Jennings enters the lion's den after his exposure of the leftist agenda. But let's go to California, where the escalated violence at the No Kings protest underscores a chilling contrast. The Republicans simply don't resort to this chaotic brutality. No Kings leftist mob turns violent in L.A., throwing cement blocks and bottles at cops near the detention center. It's mostly peaceful though, guys. Mostly peaceful. So I'm going to tell you what this really means. What we witnessed this weekend, it wasn't just like a spontaneous grassroots defense of democracy. It was a dress rehearsal for revolution. And they're not even hiding it anymore. They're chanting communist revolution in the streets. They're calling it the only solution. They're waving the flags of terrorist organizations and murderous regimes. And when it escalated in Los Angeles, cement blocks and rocks and bottles, 75 arrests, a citywide tactical alert. As one said, weird. I've never seen Republicans do this. That's because it's not about policy disagreements. It's about a radical movement that has captured one of America's two major political parties, and the media is basically running cover for them. So here's what I need you to understand. See, the battle lines are clearly drawn. On one side, you have President Trump fighting to secure our borders, restore American strength, and put this country first. On the other side, you have mobs flying communist flags, calling for revolution and attacking police officers. The mainstream media will keep telling you that these are just concerned citizens. But you've seen the footage, you've heard the chants, and now you know the truth. Now I need to share this video with everyone you know, because establishment is counting on Americans to stay asleep, so let's prove them wrong. And before you drop a comment, congratulations for making it to the end of this video. Not everybody does, but you're one of the few, one of the chosen. And for that, I give you this. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's how you can maintain your direct connection with me. No algorithms, no notifications that never arrive, just a direct line from me to you. We'll send you the information from the Next News Network directly to your phone. You'll never miss anything. So, drop a comment now and tell me, do you think these protests are about defending democracy or destroying it? Simple yes or no. Before you go, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and show the world where you stand. I'm Gary Franchi. Thank you for watching the Next News Network. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.